Talk is cheap, but communication is key. Let's talk about communication in marriage. Hello, my name is Soul Angel, and you are watching the Blissful Couples Corner. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time, I am so excited to have you here. Please drop your bags because you are at the right place. Now, let us know where you're watching from. Give us your name, whether you are new. Oh, Menalina Konji, she is here. Hi, Menaline. Thanks for joining. This is Adelaide's Pastries in Maryland. She does one of the best pastries you can ever have. Okay, so you have your event in Maryland. Check on her. She has tasty, delicious fish roll, meat pie, puff puff, donut, and she cooks also, every food that you can think about. Okay, and in Maryland, I heard her fish roll is the bomb. So if you need somebody in Maryland for that, definitely contact Adelaide's Pastries. Yes. Thank you so much for joining. I see another person online, but I don't know who that person is. I can't see the person. Yeah, I don't know. I can see only Menaline right now. Please introduce yourself. Tell us where you're watching from. If it's your first time, let us know. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for joining and trusting the journey. Trusting the process. Let me get some water because it's going to be hot today. All right, let's get started. Thank you so much. Yes, Adelaide's pastry. So today we are continuing our series on the core pillars of a healthy and successful marriage. Yes, we started this series 4 weeks. Is it 4 weeks ago? Yeah, because this is part 4. So we are on part 4, okay? The how do you call it? Core values or core principles or core pillars of a healthy and successful marriage. We started this series 4 weeks ago with the first one we had was love. If you have not watched that video, please go ahead and do that. We did love. The second one was commitment. And the third one we did last week was trust. All these are powerful pillars for a successful marriage. And today we are going to do another powerful one. Communication. Communication is so essential. I don't know how much I can stress how important communication is. But hey, communication is so important. We're gonna wait a little bit for some people to join while we are sharing. Please share the link to others. Share the link. I'll go ahead and keep on sharing too, and remind people that we are here. We are online. Okay. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead while others are joining us. Wherever they join us, they will join us. So a quick recap, like I said, we are talking about the core pillars of marriage, and we've spoken about love, commitment, and trust. We spoke about trust last week. Last week was fire. A lot of questions. I wasn't even able to get through my material, through my script. A lot of questions. It was powerful, and I loved the questions. I loved every bit of what happened here last time, because that's to tell us that we are talking about real issues, okay, that affect us wherever we are in our marriages, in our relationship, whether you are still in the dating phase of the relationship, it affects you. All these things still are important for you to start implementing, okay? So let me just say something again about the pillars. What are pillars? Pillars are the things like very strong structures that hold a house. I always use the example of a house. If you are building a house, when you build the foundation, you're putting some stuff, right, to hold it strong. Then when you want to start raising the house or lifting whatever thing they're doing, you need to put some pillars, okay? If you don't put those pillars to hold those walls, the walls are going to collapse. When we see these walls, they have pillars in between them to hold them to stand. So that's the same thing with marriage. We have some core things that if we don't have, some core pillars that if we don't have, we don't put in our relationship, in our marriages, that marriage will collapse. Okay, it will collapse. So that's why we are talking about communication. Now, by the way, what is even communication? Okay, communication is simple. It's just the act of exchanging ideas, exchanging thoughts, exchanging your views, talking to each other, so that you can have an understanding on the topic or whatever thing you guys are talking about. Okay, so in communication, whoever is passing the message has to be understood by whoever is receiving the message. So the receiver has to receive the message and understand the purpose of the message. If the receiver does not receive and understand what the messenger is trying to pass, then there is no communication. At that time, it's just argument. So communication, somebody needs to be the messenger you are passing it. Another person is the person listening or receiving the message. Sometimes those roles are interchanged, okay, within a conversation. It's not like one person is going to be talking while the other person is just receiving. No, it's an exchange. So, but you people cannot be talking at the same time. So it's a way of exchanging information, ideas, thoughts, in a way that is clear, to express clarity, and in a way that another person can really understand, the person receiving the message, okay? So the question now is that why is communication very important in marriage or any relationship? Why are we stressing about communication in marriage? Why is it important? Drop your comments in this section. Let me know why you think that communication is important. I mean, anybody on this chart, on this live now, I guess you are married or you are in a relationship. So drop in the comment and tell me, why do you think that communication is a very key component in marriage or in any relationship? Why do you think that communication is important? Drop your comments with your name and let me know what you think about that. So why is communication in marriage very important? It's important because it allows the partners, it allows you and your partner to express your feelings. It allows you to build a relationship. It allows you to build trust. It allows you to communicate your needs, your desires. Without communication, you cannot expect your partner to understand what you need. He may not understand what you need. She will not know what you want. She will not know what your desires are. It is very important, and it's a key thing to create and foster emotional connection between you two. Please let us know where you're watching from, and grant, for those who are watching on Facebook, grant StreamYard access so I can see your comments. Let me put it here. You need to grant StreamYard access so I can see your comment, your post, okay, your comments. Let us know where you're watching from. Put your comments about this section. I've asked the question, why do you think that communication is important in marriage or any relationship whatsoever? Why is communication key? They always say that communication is key in a successful relationship. Why is it key? Okay, we have Judith here. What does she say? She says that in relationship, communication allows you to explain to someone else what you are experiencing and what your needs are. That's very good. Thanks for watching, Judith. So our sister Judith, she's saying that it allows you to communicate your needs, to communicate your want, what you need, what your desires, and to communicate your experience. Okay, so that's just what I was talking about here. It is so important. And with that communication, once you're communicating your need, you're communicating your desires, you are building that trust. Okay, it allows you to get to know each other to start with. Because if you don't communicate, how am I supposed to know you? Let's just take it back from the beginning. You're not married yet. You just met the beginning where you just met this guy or this woman. You didn't know each other. Did you just see the person like that? Did you just meet your spouse like that and you guys just jumped into marriage? No, there was some form of communication. Somebody approached somebody and something happened and you guys started talking. That is the communication we're talking about. So it is very important. That's how you get to know each other. When you guys go out for those dates, you are communicating, you are trying to know each other. So the only way that you can truly know somebody is if you both freely communicate. Okay, share your experiences, as Judith has said. Share your experiences, communicate what you need, what you don't like, your likes and your dislikes. Okay, it's so important for you to have that communication. So for those who are still joining, we said we are talking on communication as the key element, as a key pillar in marriage. And my question to you is, why do you think that communication is important in any form of relationship? Okay, we are talking about marriage today and love relationship. Why do you think that is important? Okay, so some people have answered. I've said that word. It allows you to know each other. Okay, you know each other by communication. It builds trust and understanding within the relationship, within marriage. It creates emotional connection. Once you have talking with each other, sometimes you have those pillow talks for couples. You have pillow talks, you have emotional talks. All those forms of communications, okay? And you have verbal and non-verbal communication. We're not going to do all that here right now. We are just talking about the importance, what is communication in marriage. One of the, as a key, one of the core pillars. We have time to talk about those. We have a lot of things to talk about this year and the years to come. So we're going to go step by step. Now, the next question is, what is considered a great communication? What should couples do for communication to flow? I also have this thing that I say that couples or in any relationship to be successful, right? People need to feel free. You need to have, they call it open, honest conversation. So couples, for a great communication, it needs to be open. It needs to be honest. What do I mean by open? You need to be honest about it. You need to feel free about it. You don't have to close up. And how would that happen? The couples need to provide that space, that safe space to communicate. I need to feel that I am safe. I am able to communicate my feelings to you, my wants to you, my desires to you, my failures to you, my achievements to you, my worries, without being judged, without being afraid of your reaction. So couples need to create a safe space for an effective communication to take place. If not, there will be no communication. Please pump those hearts as you're coming in. Pump those hearts. Give me a lot of hearts. I love me some hearts. A lot of hearts and a lot of likes. Okay, I love those hearts. I love those thumbs up. Shower them. Okay, bless me with those hearts and those thumbs. It's just some clicks. Come on, keep clicking. All right. Yeah. So I was saying that, Mr. Kome. Thank you for joining, sir. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it. You're not late, you're on time. So, Mr. Kome, the question here today is that, yeah, chop the hearts. I need to chop the hearts. Thank you, Judith. So, Mr. Kome, our question today is, why do we think that communication is so important in a relationship? Forgetting about marriage, right? Even though we are talking mainly about marriage, you can still tell us why it's important in marriage. But generally in life, communication is a very key element in every successful relationship. So we are asking the question now, why do you think, to your own opinion, why do you think that is so important for communication to be for great communication, effective communication to be in a relationship and in marriage? So drop your comment. If you have any comment on that, drop it there. We'll read it. So I was saying that for effective communication to take place, couples must create that environment, that safe environment to talk, so in a way that their partners will feel free to talk about anything, any stupid thing, any foolish things, any bad thing, whatever. Okay, we need to create that space, because once we don't feel safe somewhere, we cannot communicate openly. We cannot communicate freely. We need to talk freely. We need to talk openly. In America, there's something called freedom of speech. So if there's freedom of speech in the country, why should your relationship not have freedom of speech? But some people take this freedom of speech and abuse it. We're going to come to that. So it's important that you in your relationship, both of you have to create safety. And what I mean by safety is that I should not be afraid to communicate anything to my husband. And my husband should not be afraid to communicate anything to me. Once we start thinking that, hey, I'm afraid. If you are in a relationship, if you are in marriage right now, let me start with the relationship. If you're in a relationship, you're dating right now, and every time you feel like you have something to say to your partner, to your boyfriend or to your girlfriend, and you start having palpitation, you are afraid. You're like, hey, mama, me, I get to go talk for the man now. While I go talk my stories, while I go holla, while I go take that sting that me, while I go do that with you. If you already have that thing and you're in a courtship, you are dating, please start rethinking. It's time for you to start communicating that thing. Because that's telling me that you're unsafe. You're not safe. You don't have that safe space to speak out. And it's not good. It's not good in marriage, trust me. So if you are in a relationship, you're already thinking, you're already afraid to express your feelings, your thoughts to the person you're dating, then there's trouble. So think about it. Now let's go to marriage. If let's say you did not pick on that, that passed you by, you were so blinded with love, you didn't pay attention on that. Now you're in marriage and you realize that it's difficult for you to kind of get through your husband or get through your wife to talk some things, to communicate. I think it's high time for you to sit your partner down and have this conversation with them. Try your best to sit them down and tell them that the reason you don't communicate is because you don't feel safe. You're afraid of them. Have a conversation with them and see how you guys can navigate that, because you cannot go nowhere without effective communication. There will be trouble. There will be too many things there will be too many assumptions, and assumptions in a relationship is not good. Now, if you think that you are so afraid that you cannot even talk about the feeling about being afraid to discuss, maybe get somebody that you trust. Maybe the person's friend, close friend to the person, is somebody that you know that there's always one person in the world that somebody listens to, right? So talk to that person and explain to the person that is the way you feel. You are afraid you cannot communicate with daddy because daddy is always like that. So he will do this. When I tell him something, he will shout. He will do what? So I don't feel, sometimes I have something in my mind to say, but I cannot say because I'm afraid of the way he will react. Tell him that you really have a lot to communicate, or whoever that person is to that partner that you want to communicate, so that they can help you. You are not going to complain for nothing to happen. You are not laying a complaint. You are going with a worry. I say, this is my worry. Please help me. Let's help me to talk with my husband or my wife, that I don't feel safe talking to them because of this reaction, so we can have a conversation. I don't want to talk because I'm afraid of their reaction. It is very, very, very important that you try to make sure that you guys are on the same page. If you cannot approach your partner on that matter, please approach somebody. Explain your situation to the person. Somebody that you know that your partner listens to, if you cannot, so that they can have a meeting with you guys. Then in that meeting, you can express yourself that, hey, baby, I'm really sorry that this happened, but the reason I brought so and so person is because I don't feel comfortable when I want to talk to you, because you're always reacting this way. You're always reacting this way. I have a lot of things to say, but I'm afraid of you. You cannot be afraid of your spouse. So talk it out. Don't keep it. Talk it out and find a way around it. Okay? Get some help. Get some help to help you with that. I see media therapy. Thank you so much for joining, sis. Thank you. Yeah. So that's what you should do. Couples need to have a safe space, and we need to create safe space for us. You and I, couples, with the safety within us, you cannot be compromised. If not, we'll fall apart. Okay. Now, what's the next thing that I want us to talk about here today? Again, our question tonight is, what communication strategies? What do you think about communication in marriage? Is it a key thing, and why is it a key thing? Why is it important in a relationship? And secondly, what are some of the strategies that you have used in your communication? What are the strategies that you used for an effective communication? How has that helped your relationship? Please share with somebody. The reason we share is because what you have or what you implement in your marriage may just be the best thing that somebody is waiting for. Maybe the person has tried a lot of things, and your idea here can just be like, oh, you know what, let me try this one and see if it will work for me. You know, I always say that marriage is not the same with every person, but it doesn't cost you anything to try something, because with the intention of making your own better, not in the intention of competing, but making your own better. Okay, so that's why we need to. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Oli, for joining. Thank you. So the next thing I want us to talk about here is, what are some of the key things that we need for an effective communication? I mean, there is no one size fits all, right? I always say that, do you. What do I mean? I may give you the things that I'm doing in my own relationship here, or the things that I have experienced from people that I've spoken to left and right, but all the 10 or 15 or even 20 that I have may not be effective for your situation, because guess what? My partner is not yours. Her partner is not your partner. They have two different identities. They have two different characters. So the important thing is, you have to understand who your partner is. Once you understand your partner, you begin to understand the way, you begin to think about ways that you can make it better. And remember, it's not a one-day thing. It's a journey. It's a journey, because I'm going to tell you a little story about my own communication struggles, and I'm still working on it. I always say that the fact that I'm here is not because I know everything or because my marriage is so perfect. There's no perfect marriage. It's a working process. Okay, it's work in progress. It keeps going. Work in progress. We keep going. Today we make baby steps until we get better. Nothing is perfect when it comes to marriage. So share your own things that you've been doing so you can help somebody. Okay, the first thing is and that I would say for effective communication, the first key. I'm sorry, I've been talking the whole day, church and everything. The first thing I would say is, be ready. Be ready when you want to start a conversation. You want to communicate something. And this I'm talking now referring to a situation where something has happened and you have made up your mind to approach your partner for a conversation. Be ready with what you want to say, because if you go, we are not ready with what you want to say, your ideas will be flying all over the place. Let's say, for example, it's something that he has done that got you angry, and you have not taken your time to process it, like make it to be concise and deliver your message. You're going to go there and start arguing. And trust me, I don't care how good you are, I don't care how hurt you were, you may just come out from that conversation more hurt. So you need to be ready. What do you want to talk about? What are your facts? Not hypothesis. What are your facts? Gather your thoughts together. Gather your facts together. If it's something he has done wrong that has hurt you, or something he has been doing or she has been doing he or she has been repeating it for a very long time, and this particular day was the last stroke on the camel's back. Gather your thoughts, okay? Gather your facts. Calm down. Get ready. Hey, baby, I have something. Do you have a few minutes? I would like us to have a discussion on something, and deliver your thing right there. Now, the way you deliver it too matters, and we're going to come to that. So I would say be ready, especially for those talks. I'm not talking about the spontaneous things that you can just be discussing. No, these ones that is a serious conversation. Either you have a project you want to talk to him about, you have a new idea you want to pass to him that's going to better the family, you have a new something, so whatever conversation you want to have with him, okay, or her, be ready for it so that you can better communicate it. Also, don't take them unawares. Timing of the conversation has to be very important. Though you're ready, that readiness means that you need to know the time that he is ready to or she's ready. When you're living with somebody, don't go tell them that you want to talk to them when they're doing something or they're watching TV, the football, for those who like footballs or something. So know how you're doing it. The next thing is that a key thing is that you have to practice active listening. In this case now, let's say you are the one. Active listening is the one that the message is coming to, right? You are the one receiving the message. Say you and your spouse, you have a conversation, okay? You are the one talking to him. A man and a woman have a conversation, okay? The woman is explaining something to the man. The man needs to be actively listening. Why is it important to practice active listening? Number one, you convey a message that, hey, I care about what she is saying. Number two, you convey a message that what she's saying is worth it, is worth my time. Number three, you convey a message that, hey, I care about her feelings over the matter, which is very key. Now, if you go to somebody, to any situation, and you're talking to somebody's like on their person, hey babe, oh babe, do you remember that thing that we had? I came up with a very good idea. Oh yeah, baby, sure. Okay, go ahead, I'm listening. And you are talking, he is not listening to you. He is hearing you, but he's not listening, because there's a difference between hearing and listening. So he's doing his own thing while you are killing yourself explaining. Then maybe on one point you say, baby, are you listening? Are you understand what I'm saying? Oh babe, sorry, I think I missed that point. You missed the point because you were not listening. Or you ask something, they're not responding. Then you like, babe, did you hear what I said? Say, just that reaction of shaking tells you that he wasn't listening or she wasn't listening to you. And that, I don't know if you've ever been in that kind of situation. I have. That can be so frustrating. Sometimes when I'm not really in a good mood, I can just get up and walk and just end the conversation right there. So it doesn't convey a good impression, because you have taken your time to say something and that thing is so important to you, but the way the person receives it is not even paying attention to what you're saying. The person is doing his or her own thing, and when it comes to the point where you need their response on something, that's when they're asking you that, oh babe, sorry, what were you really saying? So I must have wasted maybe the past 5 minutes talking, wasting my voice, my energy. and you were not just listening, So let us practice active listening. If your partner comes to you that we should talk, please give that little time. That little time, it conveys the feeling to the person, the messenger, whoever is coming to give you that message or to create that conversation. It tells the person that you value what they are saying, you value their feelings, you value their time. Okay, so please let's that's something that's very, very, very important. It's very significant. Let's not and that's one thing that a lot of people miss. We are hearing, I can hear you, but I'm not listening to you. I hear Solange talk, wow. Yeah, I can hear her talk about blissful couples, I can hear her talk about it, but I'm not listening to her. So I'm not understanding the message. The message is not going through. So let us practice active listening. It's very important. The next thing that I feel like is key is that we should speak out and stop reading minds. Speak out and stop reading minds. Don't be a mind reader. You are not God to be reading to know what is in people's minds. You are not they call it what? These people that read stars. I don't know, soothsayers, seers, to be reading. No, speak out. And I will say this with an example for me, right? And I will not even lie to you. I'm still working, I'm still growing on that aspect, because sometimes when that's not good, when that's not good thing for my head, I didn't talk, silence. And I expect my husband to know why I'm angry. Sometimes he's asking why, babe, is everything okay? Oh, sure, everything's okay. Don't tell him I said that. So please speak up. If something is bothering you, speak up. Your partner is not Jesus. Your partner is not God to understand what is happening in your mind. Yes, sometimes based on how far you guys have gone, you may just depict that, but if you don't speak it, they will not know what you want. Remember, we have said that word. Communication is important because it conveys your desires. You express your desires, you express your feelings, you express your needs, you express your wants. It builds communication, it builds trust, it builds how do you call it? Connectivity between you guys. So if you don't want to do it, how is it going to help you both? So don't expect your partner to know what you are thinking about, but speak out. Tell them. Like I said, this is something that it took me time, and I'm still growing in it. Like I'm telling you, in this aspect of communication is so important, because if you don't understand how to communicate with your partner, you guys will always be arguing. You will always be quarreling over little things that you're not even supposed to argue over. So if you have something in your mind that is bothering you, my dear, go ahead and talk. Go ahead and talk to your partner. Explain to them what you think about it, what you feel about it. Because you may just be sitting there and puffing. Meanwhile, I like Pastor K. For those who watch Pastor K and Mommy K, Mommy Mildred, Pastor Mildred and Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo, she gave a story that when she got married, whatever, her husband did something and she got upset, and she was just, right? She said, in her words, she said, I was just foaming. She said she was just foaming around, thinking that they'll come and beg her. Why she did not know that Pastor Kingsley was also there, thinking that she was praying, or she was meditating, or she was in a fast or something, because both of them were Christians. Pastor was a pastor at that time, So he thought that Mommy Mildred was just being spiritual. Meanwhile, Mommy Mildred was like, this man is so wicked. For how many days I've been in this house and not feeling good? He's just going about his thing, eating and feeling free, singing his songs. That is because she did not communicate the proper way. And it's the same thing with us. I have done that so many times. And the funniest thing with my own husband is that he is first of all the quiet type. When I will bone and bone and bone when he sees me, and that's when I'm angry, that's the highest time I'm singing praise and worship in the house. I'm sure he knows by now. That's the highest time I sing all the worship songs in this ground. So I'll just give that silent treatment. I'll just be minding my own business. They will be like, babe, what's the problem? Sometimes I'll be like, nothing. I'm just going about my way, nothing. You think you're helping? Nothing what? You're not helping the situation. Speak out. You know, there's sometimes when I want to talk, I will just be like all over the place, angry, and he will just be looking at me. I learned the hard way. So please don't keep it in your mind. Speak out. It's important. They will not know what you're feeling. And this brings me now to the next point. Express your negative feelings constructively. Be constructive when you are communicating, even if you are angry. Because if you are angry about something that I've done, and even if you are right, the way you will express that the way you communicate that feeling will make everything to turn back on you. I always say my things that I am a living testimony. All these things I'm saying, the things I've done. Okay? So when I got married, I just thank God that God is really helping me. God has really worked on me, and He's still working with this anger issue. When I'm angry here, my God. You don't want to see me when I'm angry. I will talk and like my husband, since he doesn't really know how to talk, he'll just be looking at me like, what's the problem? So I learned the hard way, and at the end of the day, every time I did that, once I'm angry over something, even things that I know that he has done that is wrong, I'll be angry over it. Then I come to him, I'm expressing, I'm just talking, I'm yelling, I am doing just talking all over the place, yelling. At the end of the day, I realized that it turns against me. Because the question you will ask me is, so baby, even if I did that, is that the way you had to talk to me? Then I'll be quiet. They'll be like, well, it's because I was angry. You will be like, babe, you are angry, but there is a way you can express that you are angry. You must not do this. You must. Listen, have you ever been in a situation that you thought that you were right, but because of the way you have done things, everything has turned around? You know that's what they say, I can't see everything turning around for my good. The person you think that you were going to crucify is turning around for his good because of the way you communicate. Of the way you communicate. So be constructive. Even if you're expressing something that is so hurting. Let's say, for example, because the way you communicate something, right, it will convey two different messages. Let's say, for example, and it's a common situation here in America. I've heard a lot of women, when they talk to me, their husbands don't help in the house. Their husband don't help them with any house chore. Their husband don't help them with the kids. They do everything by themselves. Even those who go to work, they leave work the same time, leave for work the same time, come back. The husband don't help. Okay. Let's say you want to communicate that you want them to, you appreciate if they help more with the kids, so they can help. You can also have time to do other stuff. Not like but if they can help once in a while, it will really be of help. Let's take two scenarios. Okay. You want to communicate that you want them to help you with the kids. These are two ways you can do this. Babe, I would really appreciate it if you can help me once in a while with the kids, to help them with their homework, or help them prep them for bed, or help them prep them for school, so that I can also have the chance, to catch up with other things, because every day I'm running late to work because of these other things I'm doing. If you could help me with that, I would really appreciate it. That will help me to stop going to work late, or that will help me to improve on whatever thing you want to say. That's one way of saying it. Now, the second way of saying it, I say, what is it with you? So you cannot help a woman. Every day, I'm the one. I get up in the morning, I clean, I give the kids shower, I prepare them for school, then I have to prepare your lunch, I have to do this and go to. What kind of wicked man are you? You don't feel anything for me. You say you love me. Is this the way you show love? Is that the way you show love to a woman? Don't you see your mates? Don't you see how they're helping their wives in the house? Can't you do it like them? Excuse you? Just tell me those two scenarios. What have you done? Thank you, Sister Lala. Thank you so much for joining. What have you done? Those are two different scenarios for the same thing. What do you think? What do you think that the reaction of this man is going to be? Right? What reaction is he going to have? Why you saying that way, babe? I really appreciate it. You can really help me because you have stated the facts. You stated the issue. That's the problem. You've proposed a possible solution, and you've given them an outcome, a consequence of how that can help you. By saying that way, babe, if you can help me, I really appreciate it. Help me with the kids in the morning, just once in a while, help me so that I can even stop going to work late. Every day I go to work late. As opposed to, hey, you are a very wicked man. Don't you see your mates? How they're helping their wives? Don't you see them? What kind of a man are you? Now me want bond picking them. Which kind of nonsense be this? Girl, you have just pressed what they call spoil. You can be boiling that beans forever. The beans no go done. That beans no go done. Instead, what you have done, you have created a quarrel and you have disrespected the man. Men with their respect, don't take it from them. Okay? Don't take it from them. So we need to learn how to be constructive. Even when we are passing an information, we are communicating our feelings, our hurt. Sometimes if you think that it is too much, like what I practiced over the years, if you think that at that time that you want to talk, you're going to react like that, because truth be told, sometimes our human part is so strong. Sometimes you are angry until you are bubbling. It's like if this man was a child, you will slap her. That time, please, that's not the time for you to talk. You need to walk away. You need to go cool off and find a better time to talk. Yes, because what you say at that time, you may never be able to bring it back. You may never be able, what's spoken cannot be taken back. You can apologize from now to tomorrow. From now to takes 10 years. It may not be taken back. Okay, so let's be careful. So those are just the four I want to give us today. Number one, you have to be ready. Number two, active listening. Practice active listening. Don't be talking over each other. That's another difficult one sometimes, because we want to talk so much. Sometimes I fall into that category. I want to express myself so much, like when they're talking, I'm like, oh no, babe, this is not. And that comes sometimes when you want to defend yourself or whatever thing. No, listen, let them talk. And you are talking, the active listening is that you are listening, you are looking at them. Let me not be talking to you and you are doing something on the computer. That is disrespectful. It means that you're not listening to me. You don't value what I'm telling you. You don't value my feelings about what I'm saying. You don't value my time. So let's do active listening. Let's be constructive, and let's stop reading people's minds. Stop reading your spouse's mind. And don't act as if you want them to read your mind. Please speak out. Assumption is a problem, okay? So when we put all these things together, we will build good relationship. Like I said, this is only few of them. Just few. Yes, my dear. She said, strike the ball while it's still hot. Yes, that's it. So you don't want to let good communication pass you by. There is nothing. If you look at relationships like marriages, most of the time, the problems that they face is because there is miscommunication. When there is miscommunication, assumption will build in. Assumption will build in. Let me give an example of an assumption here. Your spouse has gone to work. Your husband goes to work. Or let me take wife. Your wife has gone to work. You know that your wife normally comes home by 6:30, 7 o'clock. At the latest, 7 she'll be home. Now something happens. Something happened one day and she didn't come back at 7. And you're expecting her to come back by 7:30, or maybe even give you a call. She doesn't. 7:30, no call, no show. 8:30, no call, no show. 9:30, no call, no show. 10 o'clock, he boss for us. What do you think is gonna happen? You have opened room to assumption, and if you have that kind of man with African mentality, they may start thinking funny things. So you have just closed. There was a loophole there there was a communication gap there, big one. From 7 o'clock to 10, what were you doing? You say, oh, wait, baby, sorry, my phone will die. In America, you can beg somebody's phone and just make that quick, because number one, they are afraid. What happened? Did she get in an accident? Oh, what happened? Hey, in America, they kidnap people. I hope you have put that person in a chaotic state. Simple phone call. Beg somebody's phone, and say, please, my phone has died. Battery dead. Please, I just need one minute. Even just to send a text or just call. Hey, babe, my phone won't die. But something came up in the office, or something came up somewhere, or whatever. Even police come, if you stop the police motor. If you cannot call, use somebody's phone. Wherever you are, there should be somebody. Okay. So let's not give that loophole for people to guess, for assumption, because assumption, this thing that I'm telling you, like this assumption can break a home. Because once somebody start having in their head that she's not here because she's probably with a man, or for the women who know how to think very wide, the man never come up and say you don't surely go for some gay hustle. As if you been a woman rapper step, so who say you don't go? And you already ready for him. I will not call him. I've been waiting for the house today. As I know you, woman rapper, and you waiting for the house. Immediately he shows his head. Aquaratin, who's how you come out? 10 o'clock, you're not supposed to be there since 11, since for 7 o'clock. Now 3 hours now. Who's how you be there? Just start calling. Why? You gave the gap. So let's be mindful. You can use your office phone. Thank you, my sister. You can use your office phone. The Bible says be quick to listen and slow to speak. Exactly. That's what the Bible says. Be quick to listen and slow to speak. Assumption, making an assumption out of you and me. Yes. Making an ass out of you and me. Yeah, so let us be mindful, okay? Communication is as important. Let's recap. It's important. Why? Because it builds trust and understanding between you two. It helps you both to know each other. If you don't communicate, you don't talk to each other, you will not know what's happening. Because like I said, marriage is a learning institute, okay? You keep learning. I've known my husband for over 2002 to now, 21 years now. As a friend and as a husband. So, and I keep every day, sometimes there are things that he will do. I'm like, okay, this one is new. And sometimes I'm doing like, when I do something, it's like, really? Who's that the one come out today? So it's a learning process. So we keep growing in it. So you don't learn communication is a skill. You just learn it, and you have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to understand your partner. You have to be willing. And if you don't understand something, if you don't like something, that's another aspect. If you don't like something about your partner, that's a ground for you guys to communicate on it and work on that thing and move forward. The only way you can do that is through communication. Because if there is something about my partner that I don't like, I can grumble on that thing in my heart forever. He will never know that I don't like it. My husband always have something that he started dating when we're dating. Even up to now, he says it. When we're dating, when he had this attitude that when he sees something, when he likes something, right? If he sees something on somebody, on a girl or something, he would tell me, he would draw my attention to it. I'm like, babe, what do you think about that? I like that. Then when I asked him that, are you married another girl? He said, no, I like the dressing, so I want it on you. Then he told me, then when I asked him that, why does he always do that? He said, if I don't communicate that, what I like, then I will end up going to find what I like outside. So I need to communicate to you what I like to see on you so that I can blind my eyes to what is outside. I'm like, oh, you know, so that is communication. He could have put that in his mind and said, oh, I like that. I like this on this girl. Oh, this looks good. Then so bad when he sees it, like, oh, this will look good on you. Can you try? There's so many things I've done. Let me not lie to you. There's so many things I've done because of my husband. So many things. And that is how you grow. That is how you grow in a relationship. Okay. So that was just an example that if you don't communicate your wants and your needs, they will not be met. They will not be met. And it goes everywhere when it comes to finances, education, anywhere. Communication is key, even when it comes to mathematics. Matters in the bed. The gymnastics in the bed. Communicating. That's another story for another day. So that's what I had for us today on communication. It's so important. Please try to implement it in your relationship. If you are not communicating with your partner, you need to try to start doing it. And not only communicating in an effective way. Okay, you can have more research on communication strategies. Like I said, this is just the tips of the iceberg. I've not even touched anything deep into communication. Okay, there are toxic communication methods. We're going to do that. Toxic communication styles, effective communication styles. There are so many things under communication that we'll do, but I just wanted to give this little one so that we can know that. What is that? So that we can know the importance of communication. That's what I had for us today. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Continue to keep your comments coming in. Go on my YouTube channel too. Put your comments there on what you think is the best. What do you think communication is? Why do you think communication is good in marriage? And what are some of the communication strategies you've used in your own relationship? Has it worked? What advice do you have for anybody out there? So it's important, please. Thank you so much for joining. Babi said, thank you so much. I'm Ken. Sister Lala, thanks. I have Giselle Angel. Thank you for joining, sister. Media Therapy, thank you so much. Olive, Mr. Comer, and every other person. Menaline, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Next week is our Valentine's Day Gala. For those who are here in the Chicago area, please make sure you come. We have lots and lots and lots of things to do. It's going to be a fun night. You don't want to miss it. If you're here in the Chicago area, please do show up for that event. I love you all. I love you all. Continue to support us so we can grow this channel and meet a lot of women out there who need help. And don't forget, you can always reach out to me if you have any need of any counseling, anything, any clarity on anything concerning your relationship. Please, you can reach out to me. I have a couple of people reaching out to me from Cameroon already. So this week I have some counseling sessions on stuff concerning marriage and relationships. So don't hesitate. If you have anything that you think that I could be of help, I will be so much honored to help you by God's grace. So thank you so much. Till we meet again, I remain your faithful host, Soul Angel. Love you.